China cuts off Australia. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.Heise here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee, because the continuing trade tensions between Australia and China are worsening. Now, before we have a look at this article, let's have a quick refresher of China and Australian trade. We can see here, we're exporting over 110 billion. In 2019, it's definitely gone up. And, this is what we're exporting to China. And this is what China is exporting to us, 52.7 billion. Now, these are all the tariffs, the import tariffs for products from Australia entering China. You can see here. These are the import tariffs for products from China entering Australia. Tobacco, homogenized or reconstituted, I'm not sure what that is, cereal pellets. So you can see what we've got tariffs for. It's quite extensive, the issues and tariffs between the two countries. And if you want to see this and go through it yourself, you can go to the Observatory of Economic Complexity. But, those tariffs look a lot better than what we're sticking on all our wheat and tobacco. There you go, 57% tobacco tariff, everyone. And a tariff is paid for by us, by the consumer. So I wonder how much cheaper tobacco would be if you let the cheap stuff come in from China. Anyway, let's have a look at what this article is saying. So China indefinitely suspends all activities under the China-Australia Strategic Economic Dialogue. Beijing has fired another salvo in the increasingly acrimonious trade war with Australia, accusing Canberra of ideological discrimination. Well, shouldn't we have been ideologically discriminating for some time? But, that's how it is. Beijing has struck another blow for Australian trade and diplomatic relations, announcing it will indefinitely suspend all activities agreed to under a key agreement between China and Australia. The Chinese government said on Thursday the halt was due to Australia's ideological discrimination against the country. It's the latest salvo in the increasing spat between Beijing and Canberra. According to Reuters, China's state economic planner said on Thursday that it had decided to halt all activities under the China-Australia Strategic Economic Dialogue. The Strategic Economic Dialogue, formed in 2014, is the main bilateral economic forum between China and Australia. It has been used to encourage investment between the two nations and smooth trade and financial talks. So, property being the one thing that everyone's worried about here in Australia, how's this going to manifest in the international students returning to Australia? We saw building approvals yesterday skyrocket because so much non-housing dwelling approvals have gone up. So is that the unit stock coming back? We'll see if those approvals actually turn into constructions. So Australia's ideological discrimination. Recently, some Australian Commonwealth government officials launched a series of measures to disrupt the normal exchanges and cooperation between China and Australia out of Cold War mindset and ideological discrimination, the National Development and Reform Commission said in a statement explaining the decision. The Australian dollar fell upon the announcement. Did it? Okay, I will have a look. Let's bring up trading economics right now, and we'll bring up the Aussie dollar here. Where are we sitting at? Forex. Okay, really? Okay. I wouldn't call that much of a fall. Did it fall earlier? Okay, yeah, it did. Okay, we're from 78 cents down to 77 cents US. Okay, so it fell a tiny bit. I've been watching too many crypto charts lately, so that it changes your perspective. It anchors what you consider a fall. What? Not 20% in a day? So, however, the suspension of the dialogue does not have any effect on current trade between China and Australia. For instance, the announcement saw no new tariffs levied on Australian imports. Additionally, the dialogue hasn't met since September 2017. Okay, so is this just saber rattling? Is this just political posturing? Or is this China doing us a favor by, removing a whole bunch of unnecessary bureaucratic meetings? So China-Australia relations are at an all-time low. Beijing had warned it would respond firmly and forcefully to the federal government's scrapping of Victoria's cooperation deal with China on its flagship Belt and Road Initiative Infrastructure Grand Plan. On Thursday, Chinese Communist mouthpiece, the Global Times, said relations between Beijing and Canberra had sunk to an all-time low in recent days due to the ending of the Belt and Road deal, which was seen as a provocative move against China. Earlier this week, the government said it was examining whether the lease of Darwin Port to a Chinese company should be annulled on security grounds. Here's the thing, I mean, if they break that lease, what's it gonna do to relations? It's just gonna exacerbate it. On Monday, the Department of Defense Department said it was seeking security advice on firm Landbridge's custodianship of the port. If there is advice from the Defense Department or our security agencies that change their view about the national security implications of any piece of critical infrastructure, we have legislation now that is dealing with critical infrastructure, Prime Minister Scott Morrison said. China has slapped tariffs on Australian goods and held perishable products up at ports. Wine, coal and even lobsters have been hit. The move comes after Australia called for the origins of the COVID-19 pandemic to be investigated. However, trade between the two countries has actually held up, largely due to China's import of iron ore. Relations between the two nations have been in the deep freeze for several years. Beijing was infuriated when Australia became one of the first nations to ban its tech giant Huawei from work on 5G technology. Chinese ministers have failed to take any calls from their Australian counterparts in more than a year. So you can see relations, well, not really that crash hot. But, I mean, this group hasn't met since 2017. So here's the question, everyone. Here's just the thing to consider. The lesson or the solution. Always be skeptical. Remember, we're in a highly charged propaganda environment at the moment, and I think there's going to be a lot of saber rattling and posturing we'll see from both sides. I think we have an election coming up here in Australia, so a bit of fear, a bit of animosity could potentially be beneficial to the incumbent politicians. What do you reckon, everyone? We'll have to see. So, don't let fear get the better of you. Remember, the media love it. It gets the clicks. It gets the views. I see it. You can talk about a doomer topic, and everyone will pile on. The world's coming to an end. The economy is going to crash. It gets the eyeballs. And we're evolutionarily hardwired to worry about things because, well, if you don't worry about things, you don't prepare for things. And if you don't prepare for things, well, you're, a lazy slacker. And you'll probably join the Greens. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on that one. So thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you're a fan and enjoy the content I create here, there are a few ways you can support us. You can sign up for YouTube or Patreon. You can join SelfWealth or Stake, help us with our share trading. Use our affiliate links at Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or AussieBroadband. Buy our merch from HeiseSays or from Teespring. Use Gold Pass from the Perth Mint or support us via PayPal. Take care, everyone. Have a great day. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye for now.